Some days, happiness feels like a stranger at your door. You call out, you knock, but it doesn't answer. And life can hit hard. It can shake your faith, shake your dreams, shake the very ground beneath your feet. But what if I told you happiness is not just something that happens to you? What if I told you that even in the middle of pain, even when life seems unbearable, you can choose to rise, to push, to press into joy? Tonight, I want to talk about how to push yourself to be happy, even when life is hard. Life has a way of hitting us when we least expect it. The storms arrive, the losses come, the disappointments knock us off our feet. And in those moments, it's natural to want to shut it all out, to hide from the pain. But hiding from it doesn't make it disappear. Acknowledging the pain, naming it, and facing it head on is not a sign of weakness. It is the first step toward reclaiming your happiness. When life is hard, pretending everything is okay only builds pressure inside. It keeps you trapped in a cycle of frustration, confusion, and sorrow. True strength comes from the courage to sit with your feelings, to recognize that what you are experiencing is real, and to allow yourself to fully feel it without judgment. Feeling your pain doesn't mean you are consumed by it. It means you are human. Every tear, every moment of doubt, every pang of disappointment is part of your story. When you acknowledge your struggles, you give yourself permission to process them, to learn from them, and to ultimately rise above them. Suppressing emotions or pretending they don't exist may give temporary relief, but it leaves an unhealed wound that grows heavier with time. Happiness doesn't come from ignoring the storm. It comes from learning to dance in the rain while understanding the weight of the clouds above you. There is power in naming your pain. When you call it out, you take away some of its control over your life. You can say to yourself, I see you, I feel you, but you will not define me. Recognizing your struggles allows you to understand their impact, and it sets the stage for moving forward with intention rather than reaction. Acknowledging your pain also opens the door to compassion for yourself and for others. When you understand your own suffering, you are better equipped to empathize with the struggles of those around you. Pushing yourself to be happy when life is hard does not mean bypassing the hurt. It means holding space for it, learning from it, and allowing yourself to feel the full spectrum of human emotion. By acknowledging what is difficult, you reclaim your agency. You transform pain from something that paralyzes you into a stepping stone that can propel you toward joy. Happiness is not the absence of hardship. It is the conscious choice to rise, even when the weight of life is heavy, and to walk forward knowing that pain, while real, does not have the final word. Life has a way of shaping how we see the world, and often our perspective becomes the lens through which joy or despair finds us. When circumstances are difficult, it is easy to let them define us, to let the challenges convince us that happiness is impossible. But the truth is, your circumstances do not have to dictate your joy. How you choose to see the world, how you frame your experiences, can make all the difference. Shifting your perspective is not about ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It is about training your mind to notice the light that still exists, even in the darkest moments. Perspective is powerful because it changes the story you tell yourself. Two people can experience the same setback, yet one may crumble under its weight while the other finds a spark of hope. This is not luck. It is the result of a conscious choice to see beyond the immediate pain and look for meaning even in struggle. When you shift your perspective, you begin to recognize the small victories that often go unnoticed: a kind word from a friend, a moment of laughter, a breath of fresh air that reminds you life still moves forward. These moments, though subtle, are reminders that joy can coexist with hardship. It takes practice to see life through this lens, especially when adversity presses down on you. The mind naturally wants to focus on what is wrong, on what is missing, on what has been lost. But by deliberately seeking out moments of light, you train your mind to balance the weight of the difficult with the presence of the good. Over time, this shift becomes a habit. You begin to notice not only the struggles, but also the lessons hidden within them, the strength you are building, and the opportunities to grow that might not have been obvious at first. Changing your perspective also invites gratitude and resilience into your life. When you start seeing challenges as part of a larger journey rather than insurmountable obstacles, you give yourself room to breathe, to hope, and to act with intention. Happiness becomes less about external conditions and more about an inner lens that chooses to see possibilities instead of limitations. Even when life is hard, this shift allows you to hold space for both your pain and your joy, reminding you that neither defines the fullness of who you are or the life you can create. Gratitude is a quiet force that has the power to transform the way we experience life, especially when it feels like the world is pressing down on us. It is easy to get lost in what is missing, in what has gone wrong, or in the struggles that seem unending. But when we begin to intentionally recognize the things we can be thankful for, no matter how small, our perspective begins to shift. Gratitude does not erase difficulties, but it changes the way we engage with them. It allows us to see that even amidst pain, there is still something to hold on to, something to appreciate, something that reminds us life is still moving forward. The practice of gratitude starts with awareness. It is about noticing the little things that often go overlooked. A warm cup of coffee in the morning, the sound of laughter from a loved one, the feeling of sunlight on your skin. These moments are small, but they are threads of light that, when recognized consistently, weave a tapestry of hope and resilience. By taking the time to acknowledge these blessings, we remind ourselves that life is not defined solely by hardship. Gratitude trains the mind to seek out goodness, to dwell on possibility rather than despair. Gratitude also shifts the focus away from what we lack and toward what we have. This shift is subtle but profound. When life is difficult, it is easy to dwell on loss, on pain, and on disappointment. But each moment of thankfulness acts as a counterweight, reminding us of the beauty and support that surrounds us, even in challenging times. It strengthens our capacity to endure because it grounds us in what is present rather than what is missing. It allows us to find stability when the storms of life threaten to overwhelm us. This practice is not passive. It requires conscious effort, a deliberate choice to pause and reflect. The more consistently we cultivate gratitude, the more natural it becomes to see joy alongside struggle. Over time, gratitude reshapes our emotional landscape, creating space for hope, peace, and happiness to exist even when life is hard. It is a reminder that happiness is not just a distant dream. It can be found in the moments we choose to recognize, appreciate, and carry with us as we move forward. In essence, gratitude is a bridge connecting our present challenges to the deeper joy that is still within reach, waiting for us to notice it and embrace it. Taking responsibility for your own happiness is one of the most powerful choices you can make, especially when life feels heavy and overwhelming. Too often, we wait for circumstances to change, for someone else to fix what feels broken, or for the perfect moment to arrive before we allow ourselves to feel joy. But happiness is not a gift that comes from the outside. It is a decision that begins within. It is the recognition that no matter what has happened or what is happening, you have the ability to shape your response, to choose your attitude, and to nurture your own sense of well-being. When you take responsibility for your happiness, you stop giving power to events, people, or situations to determine your emotional state. Life will always have its storms, unexpected losses, setbacks, and challenges. But those storms only define you if you let them. By owning your joy, you reclaim control over your life. You decide what thoughts to dwell on, which emotions to feed, and how to act even in the face of adversity. This does not mean pretending everything is perfect or ignoring pain. It means acknowledging reality while refusing to let it dictate the fullness of your spirit. Taking responsibility also requires action. Happiness is not passive. It grows when you actively cultivate it. It might mean setting boundaries with people who drain your energy, creating routines that support your mental and emotional well-being, or engaging in activities that lift your spirit. It may require seeking out moments of laughter, connection, or creativity, even when you feel like retreating. Each intentional choice, no matter how small, reinforces the truth that your happiness is in your hands, not dependent on chance or circumstance. This choice also comes with accountability. When you hold yourself responsible for your joy, you stop blaming others for how you feel. You stop waiting for external approval or validation and start trusting your own inner strength. You learn to navigate challenges with resilience, to embrace hope even when the future feels uncertain, and to create meaning in the midst of struggle. The journey toward happiness, even when life is hard, begins with recognizing that you are not a passive observer. You are the architect of your own life. Owning your happiness is not always easy, but it is transformative. It empowers you to rise above what life throws at you, to find peace amid chaos, and to build a life that reflects not just your circumstances, but your courage, your choices, and your unwavering commitment to joy. It is a declaration that no matter the hardships, you will not surrender the right to be happy. The people and energy you allow into your life have a profound impact on your ability to experience happiness, especially when times are tough. When life is hard, the wrong influence can amplify your pain, increase doubt, and drain your spirit. On the other hand, surrounding yourself with those who uplift, encourage, and inspire you can provide the strength and perspective needed to keep moving forward. Happiness is not created in isolation. It grows in the soil of connection, support, and shared energy. The people around you can either build you up or weigh you down, and choosing wisely is essential to pushing yourself toward joy. Being mindful of your environment and the company you keep is a deliberate act of self-care. When you spend time with those who are positive, resilient, and encouraging, their mindset can become contagious. Their belief in possibilities, even in the face of adversity, can remind you that joy is still within reach. Their presence can help you see beyond your immediate struggles and recognize opportunities for growth, hope, and fulfillment. These relationships are not about perfection or denial of challenges. They are about fostering an atmosphere where strength, optimism, and love can thrive. Equally important is learning to limit the influence of those who drain your energy or amplify negativity. It may mean setting boundaries with people who constantly criticize, complain, or diminish your spirit. It may require stepping away from environments that keep you trapped in cycles of fear, resentment, or despair. While it can be difficult, protecting your emotional and mental space is crucial. By doing so, you give yourself the freedom to cultivate the mindset and habits that support happiness, rather than allowing external negativity to dictate your emotional state. Surrounding yourself with positive influence also reinforces accountability. When you are with people who believe in your potential and celebrate your progress, you are encouraged to take ownership of your actions, to strive toward growth, and to maintain a focus on the life you want to create. Their presence becomes a reminder that happiness is possible. Even when circumstances are difficult, these relationships act as both mirrors and anchors, reflecting your strengths and grounding you in resilience. Ultimately, the energy you absorb affects your ability to push toward joy. Choosing to surround yourself with supportive, inspiring, and uplifting people is not a luxury. It is a necessity for maintaining hope, building resilience, and reclaiming happiness. When life is hard, the right influence can be the difference between surrendering to despair and rising to embrace joy with courage and determination. Happiness is not something that simply arrives on its own. It is not a byproduct of perfect circumstances or a reward for waiting long enough. True joy is something you actively create, something you cultivate with intention, even when life feels heavy and unfair. Waiting for the right moment or for everything to align perfectly can leave you stuck in a state of passivity, letting the days slip by without ever touching the fullness of life. To push yourself to be happy, you must take deliberate action, seeking out and creating moments of joy, no matter how small or fleeting they may seem. Creating happiness often begins with simple choices. It might be choosing to smile despite feeling weighed down by challenges, or finding a reason to laugh when it feels almost impossible. These small acts, seemingly insignificant, carry immense power. Each smile, each laugh, each intentional moment of positivity sends a signal to your mind and body that joy is not only possible, but within reach. Over time, these small actions accumulate, forming a foundation of resilience and emotional strength that allows happiness to take root even in difficult seasons. Actively creating moments of joy also means engaging in experiences that nourish your heart and spirit. This could be spending time with people who lift you, pursuing hobbies that bring fulfillment, or immersing yourself in music, art, or nature that reminds you of the beauty in the world. These intentional choices act as reminders that life still holds light, even when darkness surrounds you. They are not distractions from your struggles. They are lifelines, anchors that keep your spirit afloat as you navigate challenges. Happiness as a discipline requires consistency and courage. It demands that you act in spite of fear, doubt, or discomfort, choosing joy even when it feels unnatural or distant. It is a declaration that you will not wait for life to grant permission to be happy. You will take it, nurture it, and protect it. This approach transforms happiness from something that is dependent on circumstances into a state of being that can coexist with struggle. It empowers you to live fully, embracing the moments of light alongside the reality of pain. Ultimately, pushing yourself to be happy is an act of intentionality. It is about refusing to be a passive observer of life and instead choosing to participate, to create, and to claim joy where it exists. Even when life is hard, happiness is available to those who seek it, who act for it, and who hold it close with courage, persistence, and heart. It is not a destination, it is a practice, a way of living that affirms your strength, your resilience, and your right to experience joy. And now, as we stand here together, I want you to hear this truth deep in your heart. Happiness is not a prize reserved for the fortunate, nor is it a fleeting visitor that comes and goes at random. It is a choice. It is a decision you make every single day, a commitment to rise above the weight of life and claim the joy that is waiting for you. You may be tired, you may be hurting, you may feel like the storms around you will never end, but even in the midst of struggle, you have the power to push yourself forward, to see the light, to create moments of joy, and to hold tightly to gratitude, hope, and love. Remember, happiness does not require perfection, and it does not demand that life be easy. It asks only that you refuse to surrender your spirit, that you embrace your own strength, and that you take responsibility for your heart. Every small step matters. Every intentional act counts. And every moment you choose joy is a victory over despair. So go forward from this place determined, unshaken, and courageous, knowing that even when life is hard, you can choose to be happy, to shine, and to live fully. Happiness is not waiting for you. It is within you. Claim it, nurture it, live it,